You confirm that?
Still going there.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioner.
Now, do you recall when EMPD was established?
2002.
2002. And these documents, at least the complete one, starting at page 414, is dated August 2001, and that you'll find at page 428.
428.
Signed by Paul Maseko, City Manager, on behalf of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Council.
Yes.
And then the counterpart is Johannesburg Metropolitan Council, Paul Pascal Muloi. The second document that starts at 430 doesn't have a last page. So it's you haven't included the last page, the signature page, so it's difficult to say when that one was concluded.
I think it's that one that I'm having a challenge that I've said I can't trace it. It was full. But if you go to the city, you'll get the correct and all the pages.
Okay.
The one that it was signed in between the two memorandum of understandings.
And I see from both, when I compare them, the one is an agreement, memorandum of understanding between Ekurhuleni municipality and Johannesburg, correct? The other is the same agreement between Ekurhuleni but with City of Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality.
Yes, Commissioner.
Now, if you compare them, they are worded in the exact same terms. And in particular, I would like to refer us to page 419 of interest at clause 4, period of agreement. And both memoranda stipulate that the agreement, which is the document we are reading, shall be deemed to have commenced on the date of establishment of the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Service, which establishment will commence by appropriate publication in the Gazette, you see?
Yes, Commissioner.
So I understand then from these documents that the agreements, when concluded, EMPD was yet to be formally gazetted.
I can't answer that because I was still at the college. I was a new recruit. But I know that before it was launched, it must be gazetted. That's why I'm saying it was launched 2002. Maybe drafting and other things, 2000, 2001. But I was not yet a fully-fledged Metropolis officer. I was still at the college.
I accept that my question was based on what I'm reading.
Okay,
to
yes.
say that's what it would suggest. Now, to the question, you remember you put up these documents to...
Can I just ask you a question? On 428, is that date 2001 or 2004?
I read it to be 2001.
428.
428, that's signed to Ed on this day of August?
Or it is 2001, Commissioner?
One.
No, Commissioner, yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, Commissioner Khumalo asked you whether it's these documents you rely upon to make the argument that you were entitled to work outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni and not necessarily as part of joint operations with JMPD or TMPD. You confirm that these are the documents?
Yes, and I'm also responding to the testimony that was given here that there's no document that allows us to work outside the jurisdiction of the city. It was made by the Chief of Police.
Would you be able to say which clause in particular, at least in the document starting at 415, grants EMPD the power to operate outside its jurisdiction? And perhaps while you are thinking of that, Can I refer you to page 419 of the same document? And at clause 3, under heading provision of services. It reads, and I quote, notwithstanding the date hereof, the service shall be delivered to both the area and the other area by the council and the service provider, so that the inhabitants of both areas shall not suffer disruption of service.
Which clause is that, sorry, Commissioner?
Page 419, clause 3, under the heading provision of services.
Application of law provision or provisions, I can see.
Okay.
Number 3, ne?
Yes.
Yes.
The parties agree that the interests of inhabitants of both areas in regard to the provision of service are paramount and agree to cooperate with one another to ensure that interests are fully protected. Do you see where I'm reading?
Yes.
The interesting thing about this clause, as I read it, it says the service is delivered in both areas by the council and service provider. Now, if we go to page 417, it's a list of definitions there, and clause 1.1.2 defines the service provider as the Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Service. And that clause says the service provider, being JMPD, will operate in both areas. Now, I was trying to understand which clause should I read to understand that EMPD can also operate in Johannesburg and Tshwane.
And it doesn't also say that they can't operate without each other, but they will provide services.
It doesn't?
It doesn't say that they can't operate or they can't execute their duties without each other.
I wouldn't expect it to, because EMPD has got its area of jurisdiction. The question you are answering is whether or not it's authorized to operate outside its jurisdiction. And for that purpose, you put forward this document to confirm. Now, I'm trying to find in this document where it gives EMPD the requisite jurisdiction as you understand it.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't also specify that you can't operate or you can't execute the duties, you can't go and arrest suspect outside the jurisdiction.
Okay. So when you say it also doesn't say you can't do it, should I understand that to mean that the document doesn't authorize EMPD to do so, and neither does it prohibit EMPD from doing so? Is that your answer?
Standard of National Commission. So I'm reading something, I think it's going to assist me. Can you read service standards, paragraph 5?
At page 419.
Yes.
Yes.
It says the service standard will be. Yeah, my eyes are killing you.
The one that is mutually agreed upon.
Well, it says the service standard shall be mutually agreed upon both parties or their nominees and will comply with standards set by the National Commissioner of South Africa or South African of South.
Sorry, it's incomplete, Miss.
Yes.
There's a page missing. Page 77 is missing.
Page 5, yes.
So that paragraph 5 is not complete.
I noticed that. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, well, let's park it for now. You check from your originals whether you do have that paragraph 5, and we can revisit the matter.
But can you also assist?
Page 5, rather.
Yes, I'm asking the Commissioner, can you also assist? What I'm checking, maybe we'll get the document which is having everything. As I've said, I'm limited in terms of getting things. That's my humble request, but I will also try to get.
Yes, I thought perhaps we will check first with your original to see whether the mistake arose while the copies were being run and a page was skipped, or whether you don't have it in your original agreement, in which event then we'll try and locate a copy from from the EMPD or Ekurhuleni municipality.
Yes, but may I also raise it that in the recent launch by the National Police or Minister, the National Commissioner, it was articulated in the premier, it was articulated or it was said many times that gone are those days where members will be limiting themselves in terms of executing their duties. When they see the suspect here runs in the city of Johannesburg, will say, no, I'm not going there. You must make sure that you arrest the suspect. Same thing that must happen to other municipalities. And it has assisted us a lot as the city. Why I'm saying that, in fact, we are benefiting more than the city of Johannesburg, because in terms of resources, there are more resources than us, and they're more visible in the city, because I think many of them, they stay, not many of them, but there's a certain amount of officers of Johannesburg that are residing within, I'm not sure why, the city of Ekurhuleni. And that in terms of visibility, when driving the freeways, when they see offenses, blue lights, they drive in the freeway, blue lights, marked vehicle, they assist a lot. Or you find them stopping a vehicle, drunk and driving, they will call, well, we stop them, may I, chief, this person is drunk, can I be assisted? They will assist, and the member will appear in court, and the evidence will be given. But the only thing that limits us is the question of issuing of fines, because our computer numbers are limited to the city of Ekurhuleni. I'm saying this public now. A member of JMPT can come and issue a traffic fine in the city of Ekurhuleni, because the courts that we are using, they are in the city of Johannesburg. The Section 56 book, the notice books that we are using, like in the city of Ekurhuleni, it's saving all the courts that are in the city of Ekurhuleni. That means when you see in the streets, are only divided per municipal courts. For example, if the streets around Germiston, they will be limited to Germiston or Ellisburg municipal court or court. You see, that's a challenge. But in terms of crime prevention and other things, I must mention that our members even testify. Even now, we are authorizing our members to go and testify, paid by the city for accommodation, to go and testify in KZN for the arrest that they've made there. Our members are going to different provinces. The city pays for accommodation, pays for everything because of the arrest that they made within that province or that area. And it's happening. It has been happening before I became in charge or before I was promoted as a member. It is still happening. Even if now when I'm not, it's still happening. It's happening. And it was authorized by different chiefs. I became in. I know that I also authorized for accommodation for other members, for cases that are taking 10 years, 15 years, or not 15, but cases that are being postponed. Members are attending those things. Thank you.
Okay. You recall when, before I referred to these two documents, I'd said we should skip JD 18 Roman 1, which I said is the later agreement with the different municipalities, local municipalities and the 3 metropolitans and the Gauteng Department of Community Safety. You recall that?
Yes.
And that is at page 396, if we could just quickly turn to that. And
page?
It starts at page 396, JD 18 Roman 1.
It's a different file, eh?
No, the same file of your statement, of your supplementary statement.
Oh, statement.
Yeah. And I referred to this document. You recall this is the document I pointed out was signed by the acting city manager of Ekurhuleni on the 15th of April 2025, so last year. So this is about the most recent, I take it?
Yes, it's the recent one.
Now, I just want to test whether, would I be correct to rely on its wording to understand your response as regards the issue of jurisdiction. And for that purpose, I would like to refer you to page 402 and clause 7 of that agreement. So that memorandum of understanding at clause 7 sets out the areas and manner of cooperation. Do you see that?
Parties partake to cooperation within the means. It's within, yes.
Yes, and then it lists preventing, combating, and suppressing crime, including but not limited to, it lists them, creation of shared safer cities and towns, development of programs, alignment of strategies, training and capacity building. If you go over leaf at 403, it then addresses at clause 7.2, manner of cooperation. And it says the parties shall cooperate by exchange of information. 721, do you see where I'm reading?
Exchange of information, interest of, yes.
Yes. Searching for wanted suspects and missing persons, sharing of policing technology, training courses. What I'm particularly interested in is from paragraph 7.2.6, which reads, and I quote, cooperation within the framework of this MOU shall take place on the basis of request for assistance from the executive authority or on the initiative of the executive authority which deems such assistance to be of interest to other executive authority. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, the term executive authority, I think, is defined. Now, that's one that is without definition. We will derive it from the Local Government Municipal Structures Act. At 728, staying at page 403, it says parties shall operate in each other's operating area or jurisdiction only during planned operations and for duration of the operation. In all operations, an operational plan must be submitted prior to the operation within a reasonable time to the Office Sub-Provincial Commissioner for approval.
Yes.
At 729, 7.2.9, it says the executive authority requesting an operation to its area together with SAPS will take the lead to the operation. Now, these clauses speak to the question of jurisdiction and operating in the various jurisdictions by the various municipal police departments. Do you understand that as well?
Very clear.
Now, this document prescribes how that cooperation must happen, and it prescribes that any of the police municipal departments will operate in a jurisdiction other than theirs only during planned operations. That's 7.2.8, do you see?
Yes.
And that goes to the question that Commissioner Khumalo asked you.
Yes.
Whether operating outside your jurisdiction, is it strictly during planned operations or even without planned operations? And I think your response was, it doesn't require planned operations.
Now, I've said during and sometimes it's unplanned operations. Members go. In fact, I'm agreeing with you that this document talk about the operations, spontaneous operations, the operations where members got information now and go and execute. Sometimes it leads them to outside where the suspect, they apprehend the suspect and everything.
And he gave an example, I think, about whether you can go search for and arrest a suspect in Soweto without JMPD, and you confirmed that you have the authority to do so.
Yes, I've said we even went, we are going outside the province.
Yes, and you said you go internationally as well.
No, international, I was talking about the exhuming of the previous, yes.
Now,
it is a different memorandum of understanding
I see.
than this one.
Okay. Now this would be inconsistent with that answer, but I accept that this was signed in 2025.
Yes.
Because this 2025 version says you may only do so within a planned operation.
No, it is a
the document. I'm not talking about reality on the ground. I'm talking about what the document is telling us.
I agree with you on this one.
So are you suggesting that prior to the signature of this document, something else permitted you to do it otherwise than as prescribed by this document?
Prior and after, operations are going on, as I'm saying. I don't want to come in and want to impress the commission that we are complying. The next thing, when you get the state said we went in there and arrested the suspect that was running away from our jurisdiction, said we were able to apprehend.
You ran ahead of me. I hadn't posed my question yet.
Humble apologies. I apologize.
So if now we know based on this document that it can only be a planned operation and it specifies strictly, clause 7.2, the process that must be followed, and that it requires a request for an operation in its area, as we have read. So this document would suggest that no other form of operation outside a planned operation is permissible. Is that your understanding as well?
But operational is a different story. I agree with you. I was part of this. I was part of formation of this document. I participated in this document.
Okay.
But due to, as I've said, that our jurisdictions, our demarcations, you see, you may find yourself in this era thinking that you're in this era. The other operation makes you to be outside of jurisdiction whilst you plan to be in this. It's happening on a daily basis. I don't want to lie. I don't want to impress this commission.
So then I must understand it is still happening today, notwithstanding what this MOU prescribes, that it can only be for planned operations. Nonetheless, EMPD still operates outside its jurisdiction.
Chairperson, it's happening. I can't lie.
Okay.
Yes, it's not only in EMPD. You see, it's happening. As I've said, that you drive around to see members stopping executing. Sometimes find that they were driving towards that place where they stay or they're going to the place of work. And then offense is happening.
Okay.
There you can't stop and say, I'm waiting for the command and operational plan, where they are able to need assistance. For example, sometimes the chief of transport will call, hey, I've got my members there. They need your assistance because they can't execute, they can't do that. There, we intervene. But there are those planned ones, you see.
It might be helpful.
For example, for illicit, sorry.
I was saying it might be helpful to look at page 415, where section 64 prescribed the powers, and that whoever prepared that, it specifically says that the powers in 64F may only be executed within the borders.
You are too fast, Commissioner.
Am I too fast? Page 415. I think if we are looking for the boundaries of the powers.
I got it.
Yes, it says that the powers in 64F of the SEPS Act may only be exercised within the borders of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Council unless, and this is that important part, unless an appropriate agreement has been signed with a neighboring municipality. So that tells us very clearly that in the absence of an agreement, you don't have the legal authority to operate outside the Ekurhuleni Metro. You see where I'm reading?
Yes, I think it's what we need to correct. I agree, we need to stick and correct that. And those that, because I'm still on suspension, those that are viewing, we need to engage on that and make sure that we stick on that. We need to agree that there's that limits and it needs to happen.
Just so I don't get lost, what are you suggesting needs to be corrected?
No, I'm saying we need to stick on that. The way Commissioner Balui, she's reading it.
Yes.
You see, we need to make sure that we stick on this. You see,
it's not the way Commissioner Balui is reading it. It's how it's written. It's how it's written.
Yes.
Here.
And just so you find your bearings, that's a 2001 agreement.
May I read it, Commissioner? I think you were too fast. And I read the list.
You may read it.
Please. Section 64F of the South African Police Service Act 1995 prescribes the powers of Metropolitan Police officers and state that these powers may only be executed within the borders of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Council unless an appropriate agreement has been signed with a neighboring municipality. Such an agreement have been signed with neighboring municipalities who either already have municipal police service or who are on the verge of establishing such municipal police services. Other agreement with neighboring municipalities will be signed once Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipal Services have been established. Okay. The reason, therefore, is that the other municipalities are not. Oh, let me limit myself to this. I get you. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, as I understand it, you say what is supposed to be corrected
Yes.
is that you must stop operating outside your municipal boundaries because Section 64F doesn't allow you to operate outside.
Yes, Chair. No, I get you now. Thank you. Thank you for correcting.
Just clarify something for me. Assuming your understanding is correct, if EMPD officers were to go to KZN, as you say, or to Soweto to arrest a suspect and confiscate stolen goods, when you come back to EMPD offices, where do you record that event?
The members are having pocketbooks. Members are having, the units are having OP, but we had a challenge for the past 10 years. They use their own diaries, their own books, they record. But monthly, there's a stats that we're getting in terms of the feedback.
So you say it will only appear in the member's individual diary.
Yes,
So if a member went to Soweto to arrest a suspect, or let's not use an arrest because somebody has to be detained if they're arrested. So if they went to Soweto and they confiscated stolen goods, the only place they would record that and the fact that they've confiscated goods is in the member's own individual diary.
From our side, we can check through that.
Where do they book the goods that they have confiscated?
I would say it depends per operation. Sometimes you book or sometimes you, I can't tell. But they are supposed to go to the police station or book it where it's necessary. For example, if you find the explosive, you can't take them to the police station. You call a relevant team to do that. If you find, for example, animals, it's the issue of SPCA. It differs per operation, per your, let me say per operations. Because
I think you assisted me halfway through your answer because if I understand you correctly, if they confiscate stolen goods in Soweto, they must take them to the police station.
Yes.
And that must be recorded there.
Yes.
That's all I needed to
Then
clarify.
through our own books, then we'll get it maybe weekly or monthly, that there was this operation that was done. Because you can't be there every day. And
Thank.
If there's no notebook, because the police officer has lost their notebook, we will never know about that operation.
I must say that, Chair, because that's one of the challenges that was having us. For the past 10 years, we didn't have pocket books, OP books. You see, administration was not there. You see, you only depend when they reported. You see, that's why sometimes we'll get a complaint after a year or 6 months or 7 months. You actually, what happened? You see, why didn't you do this? Why? No, we didn't have this and that. You see, that's a challenge. But at least now, when I acted, we were able to have an agreement with government printers of pocket books of OP because we depended, to be honest, we depended on SAPS. If such police station doesn't have, we were always begging, asking for OP books. You can't ask for SAPS a pocket book because it's writing SAPS. But for OP book, members will go or you need commanders. In fact, we were putting them into pressure. That's not supposed to be like that. They will go to a certain police station. If you've got an extra OP, please, may you please borrow us or may you please give us that OP book. Administratively, it was a very serious challenge, I must say, to this commission. But I'm told now that, just that I'm suspended, but they've started to deliver. The government printers have started to deliver OP books, pocket book. I think it has improved now. Because by law, each and every member must issue the pocket book. The unit or the precinct must have an OP where you record. Book members on duty, you book members. So you can't book them on your own diary or pocket book because you may lose it at any time. And that OP must be at the office, so that if the other shift is coming in, the prison commander or that, sometimes you don't have, in other stations, we are having challenges of commanders, but that member that has been identified to be an acting inspector must book all those that are on duty, and they must sign that we are here, everything. So that's a challenge that we had as the
Commissioner,
EMPD.
because you have a habit of speaking for a long time, let's not focus on other members, let's focus on you. So your OB book or the OB book that applied to you and your diary. So forget about the other members and other officers. Your one, you are able to produce it.
No, I don't operate on the OP book or diary.
So if you were to go to Mkhwanazi or Midval or Soweto, where would you, not other members, you, Julius Mkhwanazi, if you were going to an operation outside of Ekurhuleni, where would you record that?
By law, I'm supposed to report it on the police radio and say we are moving out of jurisdiction. But again, it's a challenge because you don't have communication radios too.
I don't want you to give long answers.
Oh,
Where do you record? Is there a piece of paper where you, Julius Mkhwanazi, records that I was in Soweto on this date, it was an operation, and we confiscated stolen goods?
No, I don't have, but I depend on members when they say in their book, they said the chief or the deputy chief or the director arrived at this time, visited us, they record on that.
All right, thank you.
And when they submit their monthly or what, they will also say that we were visited by this person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And then lastly, on this 2025 agreement at page 403, clause 727, it reads, request for assistance shall be in writing. In case of emergency, request may be made orally. However, shall be confirmed by writing within 3 days. You see where I'm reading?
Page 425, paragraph.
403, page 403, sorry. Clause 7.2.7.
Yes, clause.
7.2.7
Yes.
says request for assistance shall be in writing. In case of emergency, request may be made orally. However, shall be confirmed by writing within 3 days. You see that?
Yes.
And so all requests from one or other to operate outside their jurisdiction, that's my understanding, is that the request must be in writing. It allows for emergency assistance, but prescribes that such requests may then, in those circumstances, be made orally, but must be confirmed within 3 days in writing. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, we are having such requests.
Yes.
Yes.
But is that how you understand 7.2.7? So basically, the request must be in writing, that requirement.
I think I've answered that, Commissioner, earlier on.
No, we haven't dealt with this particular point of the request having to be in writing.
Yes, it says so. Yes,
Okay,
it
now,
says so.
I just wanted to test your understanding because then follows my question. Are you saying that what is in 7.2.7 altered the position as was legally permissible prior to the signature of this document? Was it changing anything? 7.2.7.
No, it wasn't changing anything.
Okay.
In fact, it was adding on some of the operation that we're having. They're done in writing, in time.
All right.
Sometimes you sit and plan as a joint operation with other law enforcement stakeholders.
So it wasn't changing, you say. So therefore, even prior to the signature of this particular MOU, it has always been the requirement that assistance be made in writing. And that's what you practiced within EMPD. Am I correct?
You are correct, but you must also read it with what Commissioner Baloyi was saying in page 415. That,
Yes,
which
well-
covers that in some of the operations, members may act, some may give reports, or sometimes it may not be a planned operation, you see. But there are operations, I agree with you, there are planned operation where there's an operational plan where all law enforcement stakeholders, they sit, execute together in all different, in 2 or 3 or 4 different municipalities with other law enforcement agencies.
For the record, page 415, which Commissioner Baloyi referred you to, doesn't say you may or may not file reports. I think page 415, as I understand it, in fact makes the point that you may not operate outside your jurisdiction unless you have a written agreement with the authority in that next jurisdiction. That's what it tells you.
That's
So
what-
absent such an agreement, you don't have legal authority.
That was my understanding, but it was corrected.
Commissioner Mkhwanazi, I thought we were agreed that 415, what I read in page 415, sets the boundaries of what you are allowed to do. It says that the powers in 64F may only be executed within the Ekurhuleni Metro Council unless an appropriate agreement has been signed with a neighboring municipality. And what that means, which I've just read, is that absent an agreement
Yes.
with another municipality, you may not operate in the jurisdiction of another municipality. You understand that? You agree with that?
Yes, Chair, you confused me.
Did I or the chair confuse
No, the
you?
Chair confused me.
How now?
Because
You said the way Commissioner Baloyi read it, and then you said whatever it was you said. And I said to you, this is not about how Commissioner Baloyi read it. It is about how it actually reads. That's all I said. What's confusing with that?
yes, Chair, that's what I was saying. I've said that means it has been our limitation.
That means?
It has been our limitation. We need to correct it and make sure that we stick to what Commissioner
But
Baloyi
that had
said.
nothing to do with what I said. Because as I say, all I said was to correct you when you said, as Commissioner Baloyi reads it. So I just said, it's not about how Commissioner Baloyi reads it.
I get
It's
it,
about the actual content.
Yes, I
And
get it, Chair.
it's about how it actually reads. Am I making sense?
Yes, Chair.
All right. And also another issue I may raise with you, I'm not sure that I understand your cross-referencing to what Commissioner Baloyi read when Ms. Sillo is engaging you on 727. 727 is about requests for assistance, whereas what Commissioner Baloyi read is about where each metro or municipality may exercise its functions, which is that they may only do so within their jurisdiction. That's not about assistance as envisaged in 7.2.7. Do you get the difference?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Ms.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. And if you get the difference, you will leave it at that. The answer you've given stands, or would you like to revisit it?
No. We revisit. When it's a request, you see, it's very clear.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
it must be in writing.
Yes.
So now my question was, the clause I read for you comes from a 2025 agreement. Do you understand?
Yes, Chair.
I wanted to understand whether that requirement was whether your understanding was that there was such a requirement even prior to 2025. Have you always understood that there must be a request in writing?
You are correct.
That's been your understanding?
Yes, you're correct.
And that is how you have conducted operations outside Ekurhuleni,
Yes, if there's a request.
which
we are doing
request
that.
would be in writing?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm clarified. Thank you.
But that would not always be the case, because on your evidence, if you are chasing person and they cross into the jurisdiction of another municipality, you can't just let them go. You will chase them and arrest them. I think that's how I understood your evidence.
You are correct, Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I may talk maybe, for example, when it's crowd management, where they know it's a big joint operation in request. That's what has been happening.
Well, maybe let's use a simpler example. If you're chasing a speeding driver, a driver who was involved in criminal conduct in your municipality, and you chase them and they cross into the JMPD jurisdiction, what do? Do you pursue them into that jurisdiction, or do you stop where your line ends?
We do pursue, Chair.
Yes,
And it's not only limited to that.
yes.
Even when members are working operational, they get information now that we must go to that. They do that.
Yeah. So you do that even where there has not been a request for assistance. I think
Yes.
it's the point that I'm trying to
Yes,
establish.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think as well, I'm trying to find it, but I can't immediately. I'll find it for you. My understanding, at least, of the law is the regulations, the SAPS regulations, permit you, by you I mean the Metropolitan Police Department, to continue with a pursuit that originates in your jurisdiction, even if it goes beyond the borders. You are permitted to pursue that suspect until the suspect is arrested. Is my understanding correct? And that's stipulated in the regulation. I'll give you the specific regulation tomorrow morning. But generally, is that how you understand it?
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
So
that's why
now-
I even said in terms of information, that's what it's happening again.
Now, that is what I can call hot pursuit. It starts in Germiston, drives out of Ekurhuleni jurisdiction. The law permits the pursuit to continue, even into the next jurisdiction with or without agreement. So it's a specific permission to continue with that pursuit until its objective is met.
Yeah.
I'm saying that to say I agree with you on that.
Yes, but there are also a lot of gray areas, Chair. For
Before we get to gray areas, can I get to my question?
Okay.
Thank you. So at least the one regarding pursuit, you and I are in agreement. Again, I go back to the question that Commissioner Khumalo, I think, posed. If you get information while you are in your office in Germiston that a suspect who you believe committed a crime in Ekurhuleni is in Soweto, or there's a suspect in Soweto who committed a crime, let's say in Sandton, do you have the authority to go seek and arrest that suspect without the prior engagement and approval by JMPD? And your response to that was yes.
No.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood.
Commissioner Khumalo said you may move from here to, not from Soweto to Sandton, not within the jurisdiction of Johannesburg, but from here you may do that to Soweto. If the information leads you to Soweto, Soweto leads you to Randburg, but started from here, the information was got from here, you see.
So you are
But
saying,
yes, but I'm saying when members are around there doing other operation and they find something there, they may execute and arrest. They can't say, we are Metro Police officers, we're here to execute other things, but there's a crime that is happening because we're in Soweto, it's happening in Soweto. We will run away and leave it. It doesn't happen like that. They must execute because members of public,
Okay.
they see police, they don't see EMPT, JMPT. You see?
Let's forget about hot pursuit. What I think Mr. Lo wants to understand, which is what I think Commissioner Khumalo wanted to understand, and which is what I want to understand. You are sitting.
Sorry, Chair.
You are sitting in your office in Ekurhuleni,
Yes.
and you get information about the commission of a crime and that the alleged culprit is in Soweto. Would you move from Ekurhuleni to Soweto to go and effect an arrest?
Members, they may communicate with members of JMPT or they go to that police station, say, or work with SAPS to assist them. becomes easier. But it's happening, they go and arrest.
So Ekurhuleni police or EMPD members would not off, or rather on their own, without being assisted by, after a request by members of the JMPD, simply go to Soweto.
As I've said earlier on, it's happening. You see, it's happening.
It may be happening, but it's something else whether it's lawful, and what we are trying to establish is what is lawful.
Yes.
Would EMPD members lawfully move from Ekurhuleni? And remember, this is not hot pursuit. Move from Ekurhuleni to Soweto and perform whatever functions they think they are entitled to perform.
I think for now, there's no law that has challenged us. As I've said that before I joined,
Is it lawful? I'm not asking whether you've been challenged. Is it lawful?
Yes, in the court of law, they've accepted those dockets. They've sentenced those suspects, you see. And in our minds, or in their minds, like that, no, it's lawful. It has been happening, and, you see. And I must say, it's many cases where the executor, I submitted an evidence of some of those cases that it has been happening. Before I even become a commander, we've been doing that. And to my understanding, with this current memorandum of understanding, it has even allowed that members must work, because we'll see them saying, hey, we are moving. But another thing is that on what Commissioner Khumalo is saying, it's very important to report to an OP entry, go to a police station and whatnot, so that it will limit the litigations where there will be litigations. Let me say so.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Stella.
Thank you for the responses, Commissioner Mkhwanazi. And your responses, I think, will help me at least understand or wrap my mind around a case involving EMPD members outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni. So I needed to understand the legal basis of operating outside your jurisdiction, and I think you have given us your understanding.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you would like to say about operations outside the city? Because I would propose that we then move to your paragraph 5.
Let's go back to the same page.
So the paragraph we're dealing with is your statement, page 4 on to page 5. And we have just dealt with the annexures that you introduced there, which you have as 19 Roman 1 and Roman 2, but we have agreed to amend that to read 18.1 and 18 Roman 2 at page 5. Do you see that? We have just dealt with those agreements.
Yes.
Okay. So my question was, is there anything else you want to say about that subject before we move to your paragraph 5?
Oh, I also talked about our visit as the managers, that we usually visit such operations, whether it is within or you go and check when members are there, because we are, for example, directors are operational. In fact, Metropolitan Policing, it's an operational, you see. Operational managers or operational commanders must visit members operationally. You see, in terms of operation, give support, work with them, even though.
Thank you. So then that would lead us to your paragraph 5 at page 5, and that paragraph is headed, Team deployed to the suspects who were defrauding members of the public with fake stones. Do you see where I am?
Number 5, yes.
Yes. Would you like to briefly deal with then the contents of that paragraph?
Team deployed to the suspect who were defrauding members of public with fake stones. On the 8th of February, we had a joint operation with province and JMB, as we always do. We tasked members of truck hijacking task team unit, or task team, let me say, to join other teams as per request from Deputy Chief of the province. to attend with them, since it was affecting our area in Johannesburg, and those members who were selling fake stones on social media platform publicly, members are being defrauded, or members of public are being defrauded.
Yeah. Before you you go to the next subparagraph, you just say the 8th of February, do you recall the year? You haven't indicated the year.
Can I skip? I will check the year.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, yes,
We'll revert. At line 4, you say, we tasked members of the truck hijacking task team to join the other teams as per the request of Deputy Chief Inspector Gerald Maseko.
Yes.
Who's Gerald Maseko and with which?
He's the late who was working at province.
He's what?
He was working at province.
What does that mean? Working at province where? In the health department?
No,
Where?
Gauteng traffic department.
This is Gauteng Traffic Department.
Yes.
And you say he's late?
Yes, he's late. Chair.
Oh,
That's why I jumped the name, because
Okay. So, and, you'll come back with the year. Thank you, you may proceed.
When you say to join the other teams, what other teams?
no, it was his team and some members of JMPD, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly.
Okay? Thank you, Chair.
During the day, we visited to check on their progress. As the seniors members confirmed the whereabouts in Johannesburg, where we found them and we communicated to Officer Mackenzie, who confirmed that they were still busy with the suspect. They were still busy with the suspect interrogating, also reported to the police station. Well, they also reported to the police station. We left them as they were still busy, and I was rushing for another meeting or to another meeting after engagement in our area.
Oh, before
But
you
brief-
get to
yes.
the next subparagraph, you say and I think you've done this from your previous subparagraph. You say, we tasked members. You see that at your first subparagraph? And you say, during the day, we visited members. Then third line of page 6, you say, members confirmed their whereabouts in Johannesburg where we found them.
Yes.
Now, you consistently refer to the we. Who's we?
As I've said that I was with him.
Oh, by we you mean yourself
Yes.
and
Yes.
Deputy Chief Inspector
yes.
Maseko?
Yes.
Now,
Before you move on, so the we, I thought it was you in the plural, but we here is with Maseko.
Yes.
So when you say we tasked members of the truck hijacking task team, what team is that?
It's the team that was working on that. There's a team that performed.
Is it an EMPD team?
Yes,
Is
yes,
it a
yes.
Gauteng?
No. This one that I tasked, it is EMPD that was work with the other team.
Okay, so you and Inspector Maseko, you tasked
No,
the
let-
EMPD truck hijacking.
Or let me correct it. We explain, yeah, I'm saying I.
Okay,
You're correct.
that
Thank you.
clarifies it. Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Commissioner Baloyi. Now you say at page 6, we found them and communicated with Officer Mackenzie, who confirmed that they were still busy. My first question, who's Officer Mackenzie?
He's an EMPD officer working at hijacking task team unit.
So he's one of the people you personally had deployed.
Yes, from EMPD.
Okay. You say you found them. Who's the them?
No, I spoke with him. He said there are some members are inside.
Now, who did you deploy to this?
From EMPD, it was Officer Mackenzie, Officer Kesha. I think it was the two of them.
Keisha Stolz.
Yes.
Mackenzie would be Eddie and Mackenzie.
Yes, Chair. I think there were two on that day. Yes, in that operation.
And is there, because you sound a bit hesitant, what record could we possibly have regard to determine who exactly you deployed in the operation? What
They-
record of EMPD would you
They-
say we should turn to?
They also submitted statement to confirm that there were two.
No, I'm asking about the deployment. You deployed them, remember?
Yes, in their books, they will have.
So you
information.
write in their books that you are deploying them, or
No, remember, I've said in that time we didn't have OP books and everything, but on daily basis, officer, in fact, there was an inspector who's called Officer Schultz, but he decided to retire during that time because of personnel. They were not having an operational commander. Then Officer Stolz took over to become an acting supervisor. She was recording each and every information of the team, all document in detail. Sometimes I will check, hey, can I check your things? I do surprise visit to different teams. Then I will find the book that she recorded all the things, the activities of the day, the activities of the a week. You will find it in her book. As I've said that we didn't have people, but she was recording each and everything.
Commissioner Mkhwanazi, hence my earlier question to you, because the request is made to you. The request is made to you by Gerald Maseko, Chief Inspector, Deputy Chief Inspector, and then you deploy Mackenzie and Stolz. Where do you record A, the request made to you, and B, your decision to deploy these two people? Because we are concerned not about what they recorded, but what you recorded.
Yeah. I deployed them telephonically, Chair. I didn't record anywhere. I phoned.
You don't have a diary or an entry in writing where details of Chief Inspector Maseko, the nature of the operation, how many people are required from your team, who you've decided to deploy. You don't have a written record of that.
I had diaries where I record everything, Chair. Can I go and check? But I've changed offices many times. But I had diaries where I will record. If I visit, I will record, or meetings. In my diary, I will write everything. You see.
I think we can agree that, and I'm reading Mr. Magagula's statement, that it was 2023.
I just wanted the witness to confirm before he says we imposed the year of 23 on him.
Can you confirm that this operation was in 2023 February?
Yes, I think
You
you're
don't have
correct.
to be exact as far as the date is
No,
concerned.
yes, Chair. Yes, Chair.
So on the basis of your response to Commissioner Khumalo's clarification questions, there is no independent record that is owned by EMPD and retained by EMPD regarding this particular deployment. None exists, so there's no point in us going to ask for it.
They will
Because
be-
it's either in your diary or in Stolz's notebook.
Yes, but there will be monthly report, monthly feedback of different units. From my office, we'll get it as a monthly report from different, but there will be a record from Stolz, and there will be, if I record it, it will be on mine. But I'm definitely sure Stolz was recording each and everything.
Yeah, no, my question was just, if, God forbid, you and Stolz were to be struck by lightning tomorrow, there is no other independent source that can help us understand the deployment. So there is no document within EMPD that we can turn to. That shows that you, Commissioner Mkhwanazi, on this particular day, 8th of February, or it might have been before, maybe the execution is the 8th of February, whatever date, that you tasked specific persons to go execute a particular mandate. There is nothing we can search for within EMPD to tell us that. Absent your personal diary and Stolz's notebook?
Now, let's check our weekly or monthly report. I think we may find something. Because all the units reports, or from my office, I will get it monthly. But from other people, they will report it weekly. Maybe we may come up with something. But I know that definitely show it stalls, because she even reported it that it was submitted to Commissioner of Hospice, demanded all the documents and took all the documents. I think we'll find it there.
So, just as a last point, so these weekly or monthly reports are not by you, they are to you. They are made to you, not by you.
No, to me. They are made, yes, to me.
So then I go back to my question. You did not record anywhere outside your diary, within records that are owned specifically by EMPD, that you tasked these members. You don't have, there is no such.
That's why I'm saying, I can't remember, Chair. That's why I'm saying, let's check the stats. Maybe in part of the stats it will be recorded. But definitely sure, with the
Okay,
one
if
of
you
stores, we'll
don't,
get it.
can you just then give us some guideline? Where do we search for it?
It was
Where do we start the search?
It was 2023, ne?
No, where? When we go
No,
to
I'm thinking,
EMPD?
I've changed many offices. I'm thinking who will be the correct person. I think offices of specialized services, the admin of.
And then we ask
specialized-
them to look at what?
Weekly diaries or monthly feedback of that month.
So we're back to
Yes.
diaries. So outside
Not diaries,
diaries,
let me say feedback. There's a format of feedback that I submitted, that where all the units, all the people are submitting. Can you check on that? I think it will assist us. Because I may not recall exactly, you see, but I know that even changing offices, but some of the document will be there.
This feedback is submitted to who? Is it to a meeting? Is it to your superior?
Yes,
Where
we
do we-
submit it to monthly. They submit to like me as a director. I will get all the feedback, you see, from the unit.
Yes.
Then it will come to me. From me, I will take it. Or from seniors, we select the highlights. But it will be recorded. You will take it to the seniors up until the last office.
So
which is the
you would
office
have
of the chief
taken,
of
so
police.
you would have taken it where? So your Stolz and Mackenzie give you a report?
I was suspended that month, but I think the office will have taken
The month
it.
of the operation?
February, yes, I was suspended around February. You see, I couldn't consolidate.
So you did not submit?
No. The ladies may have consolidated it.
The ladies in
The
the,
office, yes, no, because they will consolidate for all the units. All the information that is submitted, they will consolidate and send it to me or send it to the person who is in charge. By that time, the person, immediately when I was suspended, there was another acting director in the specialized services.
yeah, but if you were suspended before you submitted, then the acting person, if you don't have a record of your own, the acting person would not have a report from you because you don't submit, you don't prepare a report from this operation.
No, remember, Commissioner, the report is not for me. It's submitted to my office.
By
It's for the
Stolz,
seat.
by Stolz and
By-
Mackenzie.
Yes, but no, it will be by stores, but for all the units, they submit to one central office. Then there it was, the acting supervisor was stores for all the operations that have been taking place since the resignation, or yes, it was a resignation of the unit command. Then stores took over to record everything.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. We are still at page 6. You then conclude with the second paragraph at page 6 on this topic. Is it stopped working?
It's out again. There's a guy who was assisting me. Sorry, Chair.
He'll be with you in a minute. He's coming.
Yes, my ears are too small and this thing is big. They keep on.
As,
Sorry, Chair, when I'm sweating, it moves because my ears are too small.
well, maybe the solution is to stop sweating. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you.
I'd referred us to your page 6 of your supplementary statement. And I was making the point that under discussion, you conclude with a second paragraph at page 6. So if you could just quickly read that.
This is very touching on me. Paragraph 6 on the issue of kidnapping.
What's the touching?
Before you do paragraph 6 issue of kidnapping, let me just get this. If you go back to page 5, I didn't realize that you finished with that paragraph. JMPD in the second line that you referred to, and there's also province. Maseko belonged to what? To JMPD?
No, to province.
And who represented JMPD in your team?
I didn't meet with them, but operational, they met with them. I only communicated with one, with Masego, yes.
So you had even though you had assigned people here, you had no dealings with JMPD, you as the head?
Yes, but they've confirmed that they worked with them.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you.
So this was a traffic police operation? Because you said Maseko is from the provincial traffic police.
We were part, Chair. I can't.
Whose operation was it?
He's the one that came with and they communicated to JMPT. All of us were part of that operation, Chair. I can't say it was him.
So who was in charge?
It was me and him.
So you were in charge of this operation?
Yes, it was me and him.
And you have no record of it because there are no annexures relating. You have annexures for everything else except for this operation.
Chair, in the statements, in the previous main statement, the members, I was able to get two statements from them where they've mentioned that all the recorded details and
But
everything.
they mentioned after the event. I'm talking about before and during the event. There is no annexure setting out the nature of the operation, who's in charge of it. Who's the complainant, why you are involved, who you are deploying, what happens after the deployment, what did you confiscate, what did you do with that? There's no record of that.
No. In their statement, it touches.
No, not in their statements. I thought we agreed that you asked them to prepare statements. So after the event, they prepared statements. But in the ordinary course of policing operations, because they are not witnesses, they don't do statements. They record what they were tasked to do and what they did and how the operation ended. So there's no record of that.
May I respond, Chair? In their statement, they've said they recorded everything. All their documents were taken by Commissioner Revo's piece, I think even IP2, that's what they've said, that they recorded everything. See, not to say they were responding to me, but they mentioned everything, that no, all the documents and everything, where they were recorded everything.
I find it strange that you were in charge of the operation, but you yourself don't have any record.
You know, Chair, the operation that you run it from when it starts, let me say before, during, and after, where you keep everything, but where you come and check and go, that's where I'm having challenges, you see. But now I see that each and every hour, and I must go back to become an operational officer and have my own people go pocketbook that I record everything, not to depend on others.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask, sorry, Mr.
Yes, Commissioner Malloy.
The Gauteng Traffic Department, what is their mandate? Are they involved in law enforcement
Yes,
as a body?
Yes, Chair, now they are. They've assisted us.
At the time of this operation?
Yes, they are. In fact, here we have worked with them in many operations, especially in crimes. Remember, some of the infrastructure belongs to the province. You see, they've established the teams that are responsible for your infrastructure, cable theft, damage of cities' infrastructure, and other crimes. Truck hijack, let me say, they've got all the teams that we're having. In short, you see, they are responding to all the crimes that are affecting the province.
Do they do
Yes.
exactly the same work that the South African Police Service does?
And what we're doing, yes. And they've assisted a lot, Chair, because some members have got information, have responded and reacted on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. We were still at your page 6. No, we hadn't started on the next topic of the issue of kidnapping. I had invited you to deal with your last paragraph on the topic of the fake stones. The third is the second paragraph on your page 6 that starts with the words, but the briefing.
I think I've covered it, or must I repeat it?
Please repeat it, because if
Yes.
you did, I missed it.
But the briefing I got in the afternoon was that all paperwork was then handed over to the other team members. And I was told that all the other documents were taken by Commissioner Responds and Erasmus when I was suspended. The same month they were arrested for something else.
Now here you indicate that you got a briefing in the afternoon. I take it it's in the afternoon of the same date?
Yes, I called
Okay.
them the afternoon of the same date.
So on the afternoon of the 8th, the day of the operation, the paperwork was handed to the other team members.
Everything was handed to the other team members because they did paperwork.
Yes.
Yes, even
Now-
though I'm not sure what type of paperwork because I didn't have an opportunity to check. You see, as Commissioner Khumalo was saying, recording and other things, you see.
So you wouldn't know, they briefed you that all paperwork was handed over to the other team members? And are you saying that you don't know what paperwork they were talking about?
No. In the report that I will get, it will be specifying it, but I wouldn't know.
No, in the briefing, I want to know what you
No,
were
no.
informed as to paperwork in the briefing.
No, I wouldn't know.
So based on operations of this nature, would you have a sense of what those documents ought to be?
I think
Paperwork.
I think it's the recording of what they got there, and maybe the evidence that they got or whatever that they got there. It's not only paperwork. Yeah, it's just that I limited it to paperwork. I must correct it. Everything that they got, they said they handed it, not only paperwork. May I correct that, Chair?
Okay, so you say the briefing you got then that afternoon was that all paperwork you want to add and evidence?
Yes, let me not limit it to paperwork. Yeah, I just was typing. It's my mistake.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sure that the commissioners won't have a challenge. So we know they're the conclusion of that operation, they had paperwork and then they had the evidence.
Yes.
And they briefed you that these were handed over to the other team members. Who are these other team members?
I didn't ask because I know that they were working with other team members. But I know that in their recording, they recorded it. Because in her statement, when I said, Cash, there's this thing that is coming. He said, no, man, don't worry. I recorded everything. Even where I handed it, I recorded. I said, no, I'm sorry, it's fine.
So at the time they briefed you, you didn't know who the other team members were?
Yes, when I came back, she was no longer there now.
Come again?
I'm saying when I came back, she was no longer
No, I'm
in
still on
PT.
the day of the briefing. At that
Yeah,
point,
no, the
you
briefing-
didn't know who the...
No, the debriefing was telephonically.
Oh,
Yes, it was telephonically.
okay. Then you just accepted that the paperwork and the evidence was given to these other team members that you don't know.
Yes.
Who are the other team members?
I know.
This is your operation for
Yes.
EMPD, so you must surely know the team that you have involved in this operation. You've mentioned Stoltz and Mackenzie. You've mentioned those two. The briefing you get from Stoltz or Mackenzie that same afternoon of the operation is that the paperwork has been given to other team members. So you should be able to say who are the other team members that were involved.
You are correct, Chair. Remember, I don't know other juniors from other teams because I didn't have one briefing with them. I didn't meet them physically. You see, I don't know them, Chair, because it's juniors that belong to other people. They are not in my command. See.
So, but ought the paperwork and the evidence not have been then handed over to Deputy Chief Inspector Gerald Maseko,
No,
who was the initiator of this entire operation?
no. Kesha wrote in her statement. She even wrote everything. You see, not in her statement. Even she said in that OP, she recorded everything. Or that book that she was using, she recorded everything. You see.
No, I'm asking you as Commissioner Mkhwanazi, you have a joint operation, you say, with Gauteng Traffic Department, and I think you mentioned another entity,
JMPD, yes.
JMPD.
Yes.
So it's and you said, and I think to Commissioner Baloi's question, you indicated that Deputy Chief Inspector Gerald Maseko was responsible, together with you, for the operation.
Yes.
You are briefed that same afternoon, and you know that there is paperwork, you know there is evidence, you have asked that we add, and paperwork and evidence. Was the paperwork and the evidence not, would that not properly have been handed over to yourself? And or Deputy Chief Inspector Maseko as the people who led this team?
No,
Is that not how it happens?
no, it will be the feedback, but the paperwork, when I was not there, it was not headed because I was not there when they finalized an operation.
I'm trying to understand how it happens in your environment.
You
are in charge, the paperwork and evidence is handed over, but it's not handed over to you.
Yes.
It's handed over to somebody and you don't get to know who that somebody is. Is that
No,
basic essence of how operations?
No, they wrote in the statement, Commissioner. You see, I was not there physically. I attended some commitment or another meeting. I was not there with them. You see.
No, I'm more interested in the briefing. You got a briefing. You
Telephone
you
call.
didn't inquire. I accept that, right?
And I've said it's a telephone call briefing. I
And
called
even
it
the-
briefing, yes.
You had a voice over the telephone. You didn't inquire. Okay, now you say, you go further and you say, I was told that all other documentation were taken by Rivers Peace and Henny Erasmus when I was suspended. Just a clarification, all other documentation taken by Rivers Peace, is it the same paperwork that was handed to the other team members, or is it different document? I'm trying to see if I should differentiate between.
Yes, they said all their diaries for
Okay.
everything that they recorded, all the paperwork for other operation that we're having as a team, everything was taken from them. When they were suspended, they took everything. By that time, I was not there. They took everything. They were suspended after me, you see, for other duties and for other operations. Then they took everything. In fact, in their statement, in their affidavit,
Yes.
they wrote everything, that it was this and that and that and that.
But just to make sure I understand, the documentation here taken by Rivers Peace and Henny Erasmus is not the same paperwork that was handed over to the other task team members. It's not about this particular operation.
But they could have recorded. They recorded all those things that are there. That's what they told me. They submitted, but on their side, they had information and everything there.
The passive voice here, as opposed to the active voice, confuses me. One is forced to just assume who you are referring to right at the end of the sentence, after closing brackets, after 2023, comma, then the same month they were arrested. You open with a passive voice, you got a briefing, and you also close with the passive voice. Now, I do not know who were arrested, but I assume it's a reference to Keisha Stolz and Adrian Mackenzie.
It's 3 officers.
Yeah.
Keisha Stores, Andrew Mackenzie. I forgot the other name because he's a constable. But the 3 of them were arrested for Benoni case, something like that. Yes.
It's not that important, but it's just that the same month they were arrested. You say that after referring to Rivers Peace and Henny Erasmus, and I know you are not suggesting that it's those 2 people that were arrested.
No,
But as I say, grammatically, this is a bit confusing, especially because of the passive voice.
I know you always say that, Chair, humble apologies. You don't want to say the thing and what you want us to be specific, Chair.
Thank you.
That's what I've learned from you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Mkhwanazi, can you just clarify the first paragraph on page 6? You say in the second line, second sentence, members confirm their whereabouts in Johannesburg, where we found them and communicated with Officer Mackenzie. So did you yourself go to the scene of this incident?
Yes, Chair, I called. They told me, let me listen to you first.
So you were there?
Yes, I went there. I drove.
Yes. And who did you find there?
Officer Mackenzie.
And the other teams that you are referring to, did you see any other teams or just Mackenzie and
No,
Stolz?
somewhere inside. No, I didn't even see Stolz.
Who
Somewhere
did you
inside.
see?
Mackenzie. I
And
communicate.
you
Mackenzie
only
came
saw
out.
Mackenzie?
Yes, Mackenzie came out.
So
and
you don't even
communicated.
know that JMPD was inside, and you don't know that the Joburg or Gauteng Traffic Department was inside, because you did not see them, you only saw Mackenzie.
Yes, I only saw Mackenzie.
So you don't know that there was another team other than the people you sent there.
No, in their statement, they mentioned that they were there.
Who was there?
The other team members.
Who did they say was there?
Or they didn't specify in terms of the name.
No, I thought you said in their statement they said the other team was there.
No, I'm saying me, I don't know them. But they mentioned, when you check the statement that is submitted to the commission, that is submitted, I think they submitted to IP, they specified, they mentioned.
My understanding is that other than Mackenzie and Stolz, there was one other person there. Now, that one person cannot constitute a team, according to my understanding of what a team is. So,
Yes, correct.
if it was Mackenzie and Stolz and one other person, there couldn't have been other teams there, because it's your team and one other person.
But Chair, in their statement, they mentioned that they were there, they handed over to them. I was not there. I can't say you are lying. You see, I can't say I can't take it.
And then when you
They will
say,
prove it, yes.
when you say where we found them there, who is we?
I've said I was driving with one officer was driving me and from EMPT, and officer and senior or the deputy director.
Who is that was driving with you?
I will tell you his name. I will remember his name now.
But it was not somebody from JMPD
No.
or Gauteng Traffic
No.
Department.
It's a person who drives me sometimes.
It was your team member.
Yes, EMPT, yes.
Okay. Then where was Maseko and the other person who's in charge of the operation?
No, we
Did you
drove.
see him that day when you went to the?
No, we drove in one car when we went there.
No.
Then
I asked you who was in the car. You said it was your team member.
I've been saying it. It's just I've been saying it that when we arrived there, even in my statement, it says so. It was me, Masego, and the guy that was driving me.
In one car?
Yes, we were 3. It was the 3 of us in one car. Yes, and it was an EMPT car. He drove us with the EMPT car.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. On that score then, who did you say was the person responsible for JMPD in this operation? We know you were EMPD. Director Maseko was Gauteng Traffic Department. Who was responsible for JMPD?
I've said I didn't communicate with anyone from EMPT from my side.
Sorry, say that again?
From my side, I didn't communicate with anyone from JMPT.
No, I appreciate that, but do
Yes.
you know who was responsible for the JMPD side?
No. No, I don't. I was going to mention him or her. Yeah.
So I take it, I understand then you say on the afternoon where you got the briefing, the all paperwork is paperwork generated by Stolz and Mackenzie during the operation.
Let me say Stalls, because I know Stalls,
okay.
she record everything. She's a good administrator.
Okay. And you
Yes.
recall that when we were dealing with that MOU, we said these requests for assistance are in writing. Where do we find the request? From either Gauteng Traffic Department and or JMPD to you requesting assistance in this regard?
No, there was no formal request. It was the issue of the morning and say, this is an operation, these people are operating, can we go and hit very fast? Then you allowed.
Oh, so earlier you had said that you always do these requests in writing. This particular operation does not have a written request.
Yes, remember the memorandum of understanding was even talking about days. Here it was not an issue of a day, it was the issue of hours.
Yes, that memorandum said if it's an emergency. Was this an emergency?
Yes, because they were robbing people and were told they were moving, then they went in.
Okay. And
Yes.
that memorandum goes further. That particular clause 7.2.7 stipulates that if it's an emergency, the request will be oral, but will be confirmed within 3 days in writing.
That's why I'm saying that the report will talk to that in terms of the report of.
No, I'm asking, not the report. The report is by Storm.
No, we don't have.
So there was never a
There was
request
never, yes,
in
no, there was
writing?
never, yes.
Okay, notwithstanding that, you've always understood that to be the
Yes.
requirement.
No, there was no.
Okay, then I think your final topic is the issue of kidnapping. Would you like to deal with that?
Chair, I would like to deny and say, I don't plan to do any kidnapping. I'm a police officer, I can't do that, especially to my colleague, to my junior, you see, in the EMPD. Everything that they came or she came and testified about me kidnapping at night, it's not true. Why I'm saying that, there was a report that I got from EMPD as a director, I was a director at that time. No, she said now. You see, I don't remember when is that, but there's a report that I got now that she was involved in kidnapping. Well, now as a deputy chief of police. She said it's a recent thing. Now as a deputy chief of policing, she was kidnapped. I got a report from the director of specialized services. He got it from the deputy director of specialized services, because Chief Col Thepa, she's deployed at Oliver Regional Tambo Airport. When she was working there, that's when she came up with the story that she was kidnapped and what, I don't want to say the story. She was kidnapped. I got a report after a day or two, you see, that there's this report of kidnapping. She was kidnapped by someone. What people kidnapped her, they wanted to do, they fought with those people. You see, it means that they saw those people, she fought with them, she disarmed them, even though here she said it was a firearm, she was also between a firearm and a knife. You see, I had nothing to do that. Why I'm saying that, there's at no stage that Colonel Thepa or Chief Superintendent that came to me and say, the allegations of blue light against you, there's this, that against you. You see, she has never reported to me direct. She was reporting to other people. I never interacted, except when the social word or else we are meeting somewhere. Hello, Ndona is joking. We say 1, 2, or 3 things. You see, all other things. As I'm saying that, she has been reporting all other seniors for serious allegations at EMPT. And we're able to trace and track that through evidence that has been submitted, that all her allegations are not true. Other colleagues will write statements and say, no, we're there. The issue of sexual harassment against this senior male colleague is not true. It was because she doesn't want to comply. I had many reports, as I've mentioned in the statement, that where members have been complaining, and I was not directly dealing with her because she's having 2 commanders or 2 seniors before me. You see, that she report direct, and before I had other people complaining about bullying and all other things, want to charge at people, physically charge at people or beat juniors, calling them in social media, all with all these names. I won't mention the names, Chair. You see, but all those things, see, how, and she even mentioned one of the mother of my child said she was part, even came in the morning to go and check that is she still alive, of which is not true, Chairperson. You see, she came here and cried, but I'm saying those tears were not true tears, Chairperson, because she knows very well that I'm not capable of doing that. You see, I'm the person who believes in engagements, Chair. I don't even believe in parades. I believe in a meeting. That is why sometimes you find me differing with my sin. I say, no, this is, let's sit down in a meeting and engage. If I'm defeated, I will take that and say, it's my position. That's how I grew up. You see, if you are defeated in the meeting, we take that idea of a person who won and make sure that it's yours. And I make sure that I defend it. But my members will tell you that, but when you came before, you were saying this. You say, but I'm from the meeting. In the meeting, they gave me reasons and I agree with them. Now it is my position, and this is what we are going to do, you see. I strongly deny these allegations. And there are cases that have been opened. In those cases, my name is not mentioned. I don't know why she came here and mentioned my name. Because in those cases, you can go, I even requested the commission, go and check those dockets that have been opened. There are many dockets that have been opened against by sinners at EMPT. I decided not to do that after the commission said, no. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to benefit anything out of this. In summary, I'm saying you can check all the, I even submitted. Currently, she's attending other disciplinary hearing within the city of Ekurhuleni for all these allegations and everything. Mine, I didn't even want to forward it, see, Chairperson. But my character has been assassinated. My character has been badly dealt with, you see. You know, when you open, my kids open social media, they see you are a kidnapper. I'm not against. I will tell you, Chairperson, I believe in non-racist, non-racial, prosperous South Africa. I was very clear in terms of promotion. Guys, we need to balance. This thing of policing being dominated by males, by us, must come to an end. Everything must balance when we're addressing these issues. Gender-based promotion, and I'm one of those who support programs of women. At EMPT, excuse me, Chair, at EMPT, they can tell you, Chair, I'm very vocal when it comes to those issues. You see, I can't wake up one day thinking a person hasn't even done anything to me, even those that they came to me. You see, when Commissioner Revo's Peace was sitting, we're sitting in a council with Commissioner Revo's Peace, with Commissioner Deputy Chief Babu Mzolo. When he came and said, hey, did you say this thing of blue light and what Mzola said, Commissioner Mzola said, no. Talk to him correctly, because he was talking to me about these things. He was not even fighting. There's no need for me to fight with Commissioner for Space. You see, that's why I have been set in this commission that it's a process of the council. I'm not bitter, I'm not angry because of this. I have to account if I need to account for the decision. I have been said I take ownership of talking to Vusi, talking to Mr. Mike van Veek, and bringing them to the seat if they were brought. I even said that when Commissioner Balo showed me some many red tapes on the decision that I took, I said, I took ownership of that. I take that responsibility. But thinking of kidnapping, of course, Chair, I strongly deny that. That's what I won't do in my life. Even if when I'm dead, I won't be a skeleton that comes and kidnaps us, because it's not within me. It is not within me. I grew up in the student movement, understanding gender-based issues, understanding non-sexist policies, and the Constitution is very clear on that. You see, if I have to engage, if I want to complain, I must write a formal complaint to the council and say, I think she's dealing with me, but she hasn't even come to me, Chair. I don't even own the vehicle where she claims that she went, or they tested in Natis and got my name and find that I own that vehicle. They've got a proof to it. And I've said, let them submit. I don't even have that car. That let them I have it, Chair.
Thank you.
By skeleton, I assume, I waited for you to finish. By skeleton, I assume you mean Spoko.
A spook. I won't even do it, Chair, even if I can become a spook. You see, because it's not within me. As I'm at this age, Chair, my kids will tell you, our father is not even in a single day lay a hand on us.
All right.
I don't believe in noise. I believe in sitting down. Hey, this is wrong. You are going to face many things if you do like this and that. I'm a man who doesn't believe in violence. I believe in engage. That's how I grew up. So
Thank
let's
you.
engage.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Ms.
Chair. Before we leave this topic, then just if the commissioners could note and please confirm for me, at the bottom of page 6 of your statement, after the words in parentheses sexual harassment, do you see where I am? You then note annexure pages 204E to 204S.
Sorry, it's the last page.
No, page 6 of your statement,
Yes, yes, yes.
last
Oh,
sentence.
yes, yes, yes.
You
I'm
see
with
where
you.
it reads sexual harassment, then you say it's followed by the words annexure pages 24E to 204S. Do you see that?
Yes.
Please, I've just checked the file. Do you confirm that is, that's annexure JD 12? Your original annexure that you had provided with your statement. She'll
It's not here.
she'll
Or the
locate
original.
JD 12. I just want to confirm that those pages refer to that particular annexure. E to 204E to S. It's those documents and following that you say concern the sexual harassment claims.
Chair, it's supposed to be one of them.
No, it goes from 204E to 204S.
Oh. Yes, yes, yes.
So that's
Yes,
correct.
yes.
All right. If we do the same quick exercise, the first paragraph on page 7 concludes with the wording, she always got protection from Chief of Police before Madanga Commission.
Yes, Chair.
You say she always got protection. She, I take it, is Ms. Thepa.
Yes, Chair.
Got protection from the Chief of Police, Mr. Isaac Mapiyeye, before Madanga Commission.
Yes, Chair. You'll see in one of the annexures, there are many complaints by, or I can see, there are many complaints by her juniors. I'm not talking about the seniors now, about her juniors. There are many grievances, formal grievances. I've attached those letters against them, and there were no formal sitting. There was no any attempt to attend, where she promised them, I will physically beat you, and calling them the names that I can't call in this commission.
Yes.
They've wrote and submitted social media thing that I've attached to prove that. I'm not talking about I'm not creating a character.
No, if I may just clarify,
Yes, it is them.
it is the before Madanga Commission that I was interested in, because you say she always got protection from Chief Mapiyeye, and I assume that to be in the workplace.
Yes, yes, Chair.
But then you say before Madanga Commission, are you saying
No.
testified by Mapiyeye, I don't know, or by herself?
Or before she testified at Madanga Commission,
Okay.
internally within the MPD
Okay.
and the city of Ekurhuleni.
So the protection wise is in the workspace?
Yes.
All right. And then thanks for that correction. You then reference annexure pages 163C to 163O, same file. On my record, that would be JD 10, 163C. Please stay with them. I'm going to
Wait.
direct.
Yes.
So that's so.
Yes, madam.
The
Oh, yes, Chair.
commissioners should read reference to annexure pages 163 capital C and 1 to 163O as part of JD 10.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. In the last paragraph, you do the same. The last sentence reads, attached is a statement from Deputy Director and Klapo's report to the department, annexure pages 163A, 163B. So if you go 2 pages back, of JD10. That's the only document I find signed by GB Nhlapo, Deputy Director, Special Services. Is that the
Chair.
document?
Yes, Chair, to the Director of Specialized Unit.
Yes,
Yes.
to D. Singh. So once again, that is JD10. Correct? Is
Yes,
that
yes,
an extra JD10?
Yes, Chair.
All right. May,
So against 163C to 163O, we should say part of JD10.
It's-
And
both are
then-
part
And
of-
then again, 163A, 163B, part of JD10.
indeed. And the page numbering there refers to the actual page number within the annexure itself.
Thank you, thank
I
you.
just wanted to clarify that.
Thanks for that
Yes, yes,
clarification.
Chair.
Then that would bring us to the end of your supplementary statement, unless you have anything else you'd like to highlight. That would be the conclusion of your supplementary statement.
Yes, Chair. I'm not sure. There was one, but I feel that I must say it in record, where it said that there's a unit that reports direct to me, DEU. I couldn't put it here. You see, I must say it in that record. There's a director, as you see here. There's a director of specialized services. All the units, they're not even reporting to him direct. It was said by Mr. Makakula from IPT. You see, let me correct that, Chairperson. You know, and I know that Advocate Silo, you emphasized, you even said, are they reporting to Mkhwanazi? It is you emphasized on him. Then he responded, yes, yes. You see, but let me correct it because it was him who said yes. Specialized DU reports to superintendent, inspectors, the superintendent. There's no, I'm not sure about the chief superintendent because in other units you don't have. Then there's a deputy director, there are deputy directors, there's a director. They don't report to me. Anything that I got from Mr. Makakula, it was telephonic. I referred to him, go and report to the director. And him and the director, they've been talking, and I don't even know the officers. I only know one officer because he stays in the Southern Regional Estate. Other officers, I don't even know them because it's big, EMPT is big. I won't know each and every officer there. I want to state it in record. I feel that's what I even covered, you see, unless the commissioner will say, another supplementary, but I will fight with Madam Silla and say, no. Because I feel that it is, and it is there in me, that it's dealing with me. You see that everything that is wrong at GMPT is Julius Mkhwanazi. As if I'm the only person who has been commanding from chief, once the chief is there, and what. Yes, I know that you must take responsibility when we are in charge, but if I don't have information, I can't claim. You see, I don't have info. And when they were arrested, not arrested, all the details and case numbers. Now with that, he has been attending, they've been talking on daily basis, you see. Or it's just because I'm not boot, because he said he's talking to the chief as boot. It doesn't address me boot, you see. That's why he's throwing everything to me. And he knows that he complains to me as a senior. And I will say, talk to any Rasmus, he's leading integrity and standard. Talk to that director. He will refer to the unit commander. He will refer you to this person as the line of code, because I know that in other units you don't have that, you see. But in those that we are having, fortunately in that unit, there's a clear line of command. We've promoted people, you see. I don't even have any information about.
Can I, just to understand what you're addressing now, DEU is what? Drug Enforcement
Drug Enforcement Unit, yes.
Does it fall under Operations and Specialized Services?
Yes.
Where you were director before you became deputy chief?
No. When it was formed, I know that I was suspended. But when it was before, it used to fall under me, but there was a unit commander.
No,
The same.
hold on a bit about the unit commander.
Yes.
I'm more interested in the overall accounting person for that DEU. I'm just trying to understand that.
Yes, Commissioner.
Where did it fall?
Operations and Specialized Services.
And where were you at the time that it was formed and it fell under the Operations and Specialized Services? What was your position?
I'm not sure when is the complaint that I was but I think I was the Deputy Chief of Police.
Already,
Yes.
when the complaint was lodged.
Yes, when the complaint was lodged, I was the Deputy Chief of Police.
But before you were, while you were still director, this DEU ultimately reported to you.
No. It is the unit that was formed later than other unit. They reported to the person who's promoted the director now. They were reporting to him, not to me.
So they've never reported to you
No.
as a director
Yes, no.
of operations?
Yes, they were formed now. It's the last unit to be formed, I think 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is the last unit to be formed.
When did you become
2020.
When did you become deputy chief?
2023, no, 2023 I became,
December.
yes, 2023 December, yes, you are
December.
correct, yes.
And you say this unit was formed after.
Yes, I think it was from after. I haven't have any authority instructing them, and you see. But I know them when they are having successes, because all the Metro Police officers that are wearing uniform, they are reporting to Deputy Chief Operations and Specialized. It's your precinct, it's your region.
Which is you.
Yes,
Okay, so in the end, they do report to you as deputy chief.
yes. That's why I don't even deny it when Deputy Director Makakula called me. Then I referred him to the relevant people who will assist in terms of deployment and information and everything. And they've been communicating, exchanging documents. I don't know now when there are lights and cameras, it's changing
No,
everything.
I just wanted to confirm
Yes.
what it is you were speaking to and who this unit referred to. You've answered me, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner.
Ms.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. So you have put the matter of the DEU on record. Would you say that concludes your supplementary statement to the commission?
Yes, unless if there's the latest information that I got yesterday, I got on Sunday. You see, I'm not sure that because it doesn't say I must submit anything in writing.
No.
It say this is the new evidence. You will guide me. You will
Oh,
guide
no,
me.
no, those are, he's referencing the exhibits submitted by us, no. Sorry, a supplementary statement is not necessary for that purpose. I just wanted to know this statement that you submitted, that we have just dealt with, you have added the issue of DEU. Have we covered everything that you wanted to place before the commission through this supplementary statement? Remember, you still have your main statement. Just wanted to understand that you are comfortable that we have covered everything that is in the supplementary statement.
I think so. I think so. And
Chair.
I'm covered when you say I'm still having that statement. I'm
Yes,
covered.
Yes. That being the case, then that would conclude Mr. Mkhwanazi's testimony so far as his supplementary statement is concerned. We did indicate that we think we have found a solution to avoid any confusion that might arise from accepting the amended statement with its annexures and reading it together with the first statement. The effect is that we will have three, but we will have cross-referenced within the amended statement to avoid the confusion of which annexure is referenced at which point. And that exercise will conclude tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Ms. Lo. There's something that I must address. Some may see it as minor. To me, it is not minor at all. After lunch, we were 5 minutes late. I had said we'd resume at 2:25, and we resumed at 2:30. I was at fault, not my co-commissioners. How I got my wires crossed, I have no idea. Somehow, between the adjournment and the time we started, I thought I had said we start at 2:30. I want to apologize to those present here and to those viewing the proceedings remotely. I apologize most profusely for being 5 minutes late. If I do not tender this apology, I will not in future be able to chastise people who are late. I apologize most profusely. Commissioner Mkhwanazi, let's start tomorrow at 9:30. Let us adjourn.
Thank you, Chair.